Konferensi Bogor dihadiri oleh 5 Perdana Menteri.
Konferensi Bogor diselenggarakan dari tanggal 28 sampai 29 Desember tahun 1954 bertempat di Istana Bogor. Dihadiri oleh 5 Perdana Menteri negara-negara yang menginisiasi pelaksanaan Konferensi Asia Afrika di Bandung tahun 1955. Di antaranya adalah Perdana Menteri Ali Sastro Amijoyo, Perdana Menteri Yunu dari Birma, Myanmar, Perdana Menteri Muhammad Ali dari Pakistan, Perdana Menteri Sirjon Kotelawala dari Ceylon, Sri Lanka, dan Perdana Menteri Jawaharlal Nehru dari India. Hari penutupan Konferensi Bogor pada tanggal 29 Desember 1954 menyepakati keputusan bersama bahwa 5 negara di antaranya Indonesia, India, Birma, Myanmar, Ceylon, Sri Lanka, dan Pakistan selaku negara sponsor untuk menyelenggarakan Konferensi Asia Afrika di kota Bandung pada bulan April tahun 1955. Bandung tempo dulu dengan segala keanekaragamannya. April 1955, Bandung menjadi pusat perhatian seluruh dunia. Bandung menjadi kota penghubung negara-negara Asia Afrika untuk membicarakan berbagai masalah yang meliputi kepentingan bangsa-bangsa Asia Afrika. Bung Karno memilih kota Bandung sebagai tempat dilaksanakannya Konferensi Asia Afrika pada tahun 1955. Selain masyarakatnya yang ramah, iklimnya yang sejuk, sejarah mencatat pergerakan kemerdekaan yang didengungkan oleh Bung Karno banyak dilakukan di kota Bandung. Beberapa di antaranya adalah saat Bung Karno membacakan pledoi Indonesia menggugat di hadapan Peradilan Landrad Bandung sebagai cikal bakal politik melawan kolonialisme dan imperialisme. Dan di Bandung pula, Bung Karno menyusun risalah Mencapai Indonesia Merdeka yang berisi visi dan misi kemerdekaan Indonesia. Pertimbangan lainnya adalah selain situasi politik di Bandung pada saat itu dalam kondisi yang cukup kondusif, Bandung adalah kota yang paling siap secara infrastruktur dibandingkan dengan kota-kota lainnya di Indonesia pada saat itu. Bandung dipersiapkan untuk Konferensi Asia Afrika 1955. Kota Bandung bersiap-siap untuk menyambut perhelatan penting dalam sejarah dunia agar bisa memberikan kesan dan pelayanan terbaik kepada para tamu negara yang akan hadir dalam Konferensi Asia Afrika tahun 1955. Dalam kurun waktu 3 bulan, Bandung memperbaiki gedung-gedung yang akan digunakan untuk sidang-sidang selama Konferensi Asia Afrika berlangsung. Para delegasi sebagian sudah hadir sejak tanggal 16 April 1955. Di antaranya adalah Perdana Menteri Syed Ismail El Azhari dari Sudan, Menteri Luar Negeri Momolu Dukulai dari Liberia, Presiden Gamal Abdel Nasser dari Mesir, Perdana Menteri Chow En Lai dari RRC.
Indonesia, and on behalf of the 80 million people of Indonesia, I deeply welcome to this country. I declare the Asian African Conference open, and I pray that the blessing of God will be upon it, and that its discussions will be profitable to the peoples of Asia and Africa, and to the peoples of all nations. Bismillah.
We have been in this present city of Bandung, and Bandung has been the focal center, perhaps I might even say the capital of Asia and Africa during this period.
Konferensi Asia Afrika 1955 melahirkan Dasar Sila Bandung yang berisi 10 prinsip dan mengangkat 4 nilai utama, yaitu menghormati kedaulatan negara-negara di dunia, kesetaraan, kerjasama internasional, dan hidup berdampingan secara damai. Semangat Bandung inilah yang patut dilestarikan hingga sekarang. Untuk melestarikan Dasar Sila Bandung, maka didirikanlah Museum Konferensi Asia Afrika pada peringatan Konferensi Asia Afrika yang ke-25 tahun 1980. Kita harus memelihara dan menjunjung tinggi semangat Bandung dan tetap mengobarkan apinya sebagai sumber inspirasi bagi semua usaha kita untuk masa kini dan masa mendatang. Menteri Luar Negeri Mohtar Kusumaatmadja Pemrakarsa pendiri Museum KAA. Pengguntingan pita peresmian Museum Konferensi Asia Afrika oleh Ibu Tien Soeharto, penandatanganan prasasti peresmian Museum Konferensi Asia Afrika oleh Presiden Soeharto pada tanggal 24 April 1980. Bandung sebagai tempat berdirinya Museum Konferensi Asia Afrika yang senantiasa mengobarkan semangat perdamaian untuk dunia. Dalam kurun waktu 4 dekade sejak dilaksanakannya Konferensi Asia Afrika pada tahun 1955 yang mempertemukan bangsa-bangsa kulit berwarna, saat ini Bandung mengalami banyak perubahan, baik sosial culture maupun infrastruktur kota. Satu yang tidak akan pernah berubah dari Bandung dulu, saat ini, dan masa yang akan datang adalah semangat Bandung yang akan terus menyala. Berdirinya Museum Konferensi Asia Afrika di Bandung adalah bagian dari upaya untuk menjaga, merawat, dan memelihara semangat Bandung yang lahir pada saat Konferensi Asia Afrika pada tahun 1955 agar apinya tetap menyala untuk perdamaian dunia. Tahun 2005 menjadi titik balik keberadaan Museum Konferensi Asia Afrika. Dalam 25 tahun sejak berdirinya, Museum Konferensi Asia Afrika bertransformasi menjadi lebih baik lagi dari sebelumnya. Tidak hanya fokus dan berorientasi pada aset-aset koleksi analog yang dimilikinya selama ini. Melalui digitalisasi aset koleksi, Museum KAA merespon perubahan zaman saat ini. Pun dalam keberadaannya, karakteristik museum bertransformasi menjadi terbuka untuk publik sebagai bagian dari merawat semangat perjuangan bangsa-bangsa Asia Afrika dalam memperjuangkan kemerdekaan, revitalizing the Bandung spirit. Lahirnya Sahabat Museum Konferensi Asia Afrika tahun 2011 semakin menegaskan posisi dan karakteristik Museum Konferensi Asia Afrika yang terbuka untuk publik. Museum menjadi inkubator untuk para sahabat museum dan masyarakat umum untuk belajar, menggali potensi, menjaga, dan mempromosikan nilai-nilai KAA, kemerdekaan, peaceful coexistence, dan solidaritas yang masih relevan hingga saat ini di tengah-tengah masyarakat. Dengan adanya Museum KAA, maka nilai KAA dan semangat Bandung akan tetap terjaga utuh untuk saat ini dan masa yang akan datang. 2011 setelah lahirnya Sahabat Museum Konferensi Asia Afrika, eksistensi Museum KAA semakin menguatkan karakteristiknya sebagai museum yang bersahabat yang merespon partisipatori publik dan menegaskan keberadaan museum untuk semua. Inovasi-inovasi lahir dengan adanya keterlibatan Sahabat Museum Konferensi Asia Afrika dengan berbagai program-program unggulannya, di antaranya Bandung Historical Study Games, Night at the Museum, dan yang lainnya.
Museum Konferensi Asia Afrika diresmikan oleh Presiden kedua Republik Indonesia, Presiden Soeharto pada tanggal 24 April 1980. Museum ini adalah untuk melestarikan satu momen penting sejarah dunia yang terjadi di Kota Bandung di tahun 1955, dan melalui museum ini kita juga melestarikan nilai-nilai yang terkandung dalam Dasar-Sila Bandung. Sebagai salah satu aset diplomasi Indonesia, juga memiliki visi menjadi museum bertaraf internasional dengan standar pengelolaan internasional. Guna mencapai visi tersebut, Museum Konferensi Asia Afrika menjalankan misi meningkatkan pemahaman publik mengenai diplomasi Indonesia, membangkitkan solidaritas antar bangsa Asia Afrika, mendorong kerjasama antar bangsa Asia Afrika melalui people-to-people contact, menjadi sarana penelitian dan pengkajian isu Asia Afrika, dan mempromosikan predikat Bandung sebagai ibu kota Asia Afrika. Kedepannya, Museum Konferensi Asia Afrika sebagai salah satu wahana diplomasi publik Kementerian Luar Negeri diharapkan semakin maju dan dengan didukung oleh pelayanan berbasis teknologi digital. Di samping itu, Museum Konferensi Asia Afrika tentunya akan senantiasa memberikan yang terbaik bagi masyarakat.
(2015) adalah gelombang kedua gerakan mahasiswa-mahasiswa 50 negara Asia Afrika yang tergabung dalam pelaksanaan Asian African Students Conference yang melahirkan final communique mengenai 6 hal penting. Selain itu, melahirkan Forum Studi Asia Afrika atau Asian African Study Forum.
So the Museum of Asia Africa Conference, what is it? It's a unique place. It's one of those buildings in Indonesia that I feel is a place of sanctity, a place where decisions were made, a place where lives were restored, a place where individual lives and countries gained freedom.
Museum Asia Afrika seperti ini itu root kita ya. Tadi harus kita jaga baik ya, dan saya minta dari pemerintah Indonesia dan pemerintah negara lain-lain yang Asia Afrika untuk jaga Museum Asia Afrika sebagai root kita.
Museum Konferensi Asia Afrika atau MKAA berada di bawah naungan Direktorat Jenderal Informasi dan Diplomasi Publik Kementerian Luar Negeri. merupakan museum bertema peristiwa sejarah, yaitu Konferensi Asia Afrika tahun 1955. Alasan mengapa MKAA ini didirikan ialah karena Konferensi Asia Afrika merupakan perhelatan internasional terbesar yang dituan rumai Indonesia di kala itu dan menghasilkan satu jejak luar biasa, yaitu kebangkitan bangsa-bangsa terjajah di kawasan Asia Afrika untuk berjuang memperoleh kemerdekaan. Kalau boleh saya ibaratkan sebagai tonggak aktualisasi bangsa-bangsa di Asia dan Afrika untuk menunjukkan eksistensi diri, berdiri di atas kaki sendiri, dan membebaskan diri dari dua kekuatan dunia pada saat itu. Dan hasil dari konferensi inilah yang kita kenal dengan Dasar Sila Bandung atau Semangat Bandung. Konferensi Asia Afrika ini kemudian menjadi embrio bagi lahirnya gerakan non-blok, gerakan bangsa-bangsa yang memiliki posisinya secara mandiri, tidak bergantung atau memihak pada kekuatan super manapun. Dan ini juga yang hingga sekarang dan juga seterusnya akan menjadi jiwa politik luar negeri Indonesia, yaitu bebas dan aktif. Maka dari itu, penting didirikan Museum Konferensi Asia Afrika ini untuk terus melestarikan nilai-nilai Dasar Sila Bandung yang tetap relevan sampai sekarang dan terus menjiwai politik luar negeri Indonesia yang bebas dan aktif. Dari 10 nilai di dalam Dasar Sila Bandung dapat disimpulkan dalam 4 nilai utama, yaitu penghormatan terhadap kedaulatan dan kemerdekaan bangsa-bangsa di dunia, hidup berdampingan secara damai, kesetaraan, dan kerjasama internasional. Dan sebagai sebuah museum yang melestarikan nilai-nilai tidak hanya untuk bangsa Indonesia, tetapi juga untuk masyarakat dunia, maka misi kami adalah mengembangkan MKAA menjadi museum bertaraf internasional dengan pengelolaan yang profesional. MKAA sebagai wadah pelestarian nilai-nilai Dasar Sila Bandung dan juga edukasi bagi masyarakat memiliki beberapa ruang publik untuk dapat dikunjungi dan dieksplorasi, seperti ruang pameran utama, ruang audiovisual, perpustakaan, serta aula atau ruang utama Gedung Merdeka. MKAA juga menerapkan konsep yang mengedepankan public participatory, di mana MKAA menjadi wadah bagi pengembangan berbagai komunitas masyarakat, mulai dari masyarakat literasi, jurnalistik, kelompok musik, dan sebagainya yang tergabung dalam komunitas sahabat MKAA. Di sini kami menyediakan ruang untuk sekretariat sahabat MKAA dan juga ruang galeri untuk tempat berlatih, berdiskusi, belajar, bersilaturahim, dan sebagainya bagi komunitas sahabat MKAA. Menjadi ruang publik yang menyenangkan adalah menjadi salah satu tujuan kami, karena jiwa MKAA tidak lepas dari masyarakat, sehingga masyarakat juga yang tentunya akan bisa ikut memajukan MKAA. Sudah cukup banyak penghargaan yang kami peroleh, seperti penghargaan Museum Menyenangkan pada tahun 2015 dan 2017, Museum Bersahabat pada tahun 2016, Top 40 Inovasi Pelayanan Publik Terbaik se-Indonesia melalui inovasi jarum pentul Sahabat MKAA tahun 2018, serta penghargaan Zona Integritas Wilayah Bebas Korupsi pada tahun 2019. Dan setelah ini kami akan maju sebagai Zona Integritas Wilayah Birokrasi Bersih Melayani. Merespon kondisi pandemi global saat ini, MKAA mengembangkan pelayanan berbasis digital, seperti pengembangan virtual tour museum, pelayanan kunjungan daring, online talk show melalui media sosial, dan pengembangan e-library, yang mana pelayanan berbasis digital ini dapat diikuti dan diakses oleh khalayak yang lebih luas, tidak hanya di dalam negeri, tetapi juga di luar negeri. MKAA adalah museum untuk semua. Kami mengajak seluruh lapisan masyarakat, baik di dalam negeri maupun di luar negeri, untuk bersama-sama dengan MKAA melestarikan Dasar Sila Bandung agar api semangat Bandung terus berkobar. Salam museum, museum di hatiku.
memperkuat solidaritas dan kerjasama di antara kita sendiri, selalu siap membantu satu sama lain. Saya yakin bahwa dengan bekerja bersama dan tetap setia pada semangat prinsip Bandung, kita akan menjadi lebih kuat dan lebih efektif melawan COVID-19.
Lapor upacara pengibaran bendera PBB dan bendera negara-negara Konferensi Asia Afrika tahun 2022 siap dimulai. Lanjutkan.
Hari ini tanggal 18 2022 telah terlaksana dengan hikmat dan lancar upacara pengibaran 109 bendera negara-negara peserta Konferensi Tingkat Tinggi Asia Afrika. Kiranya kegiatan ini dapat memberikan semangat baru bagi kita semua melalui komitmen Museum Konferensi Asia Afrika dalam melestarikan dan mengobarkan semangat Bandung yang tidak akan pernah padam dalam mewujudkan perdamaian dunia.
Sudah lebih dari 67 tahun pasca Konferensi Asia Afrika diselenggarakan di gedung ini, sebuah konferensi yang mengubah sejarah dunia. Saya berharap dalam peringatan ke-67 KAA ini, masyarakat Kota Bandung dan Indonesia dapat kembali melestarikan nilai dari dasar sila Bandung yang masih relevan untuk ditetapkan pada saat ini. Kami menggelorakan kembali semangat dan ingatan bahwa Bandung adalah kota yang bersejarah, tidak hanya untuk Indonesia, tapi untuk bangsa dunia, khususnya bangsa Asia Afrika.
Peringatan 67 tahun KAA tahun ini mengangkat tema Recover Together, Recover Stronger yang senapas dengan tema presidensi Indonesia pada G20 tahun ini. Tema ini mengusung pesan universal untuk pulih dan bangkit bersama pasca pandemi. Semangat ini semakin relevan dengan semangat untuk melahirkan Asia baru dan Afrika baru yang digaungkan Presiden Soekarno 67 tahun yang lalu.
Kepada bendera negara-negara Konferensi Asia Afrika,
The Vice Governor of West Java, Mr. Ruzhanul Ulum, Head of Bandung Culture and Tourism Office, the Commander of the 3rd Siliwangi Military Region, the Vice Regional Office of West Java.
The Honorable Head of Department Culture and Tourism Bandung City, Mrs. Dewi Kaniasari. The Honorable Director for Diplomatic Security, the Honorable Mr. Agung Cahaya Sumirat. The Honorable Speakers, Mrs. Diana Sari. His Excellency Ambassador Diar Nurbintoro, Mr. Rili Robi Gusadi. Welcome to International Students Gathering 2022. Good morning, Your Excellency, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, we would like to welcome the Honorable Mayor of Bandung City, Mr. Yana Mulyana, represented by the Honorable Head of Department Culture and Tourism Bandung City, Mrs. Dewi Kaniasari. Director General for Information and Public Diplomacy, Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Republic of Indonesia, His Excellency Dr. Teguh Faizasya, represented by the Director for Diplomatic Security, the Honorable Mr. Agung Cahaya Sumirat. Director General for Asia Pacific and African Affairs, Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Republic of Indonesia, His Excellency Abdul Qadir Jailani, represented by the Secretary of Directorate General for Asia Pacific and African Affairs, the Honorable Mrs. Trisari Diah Paramita. The Honorable Dean of Faculty of Social and Political Science, Universitas Pajajaran, Mr. Widya Setiabudi Sumadinata. The Honorable Speakers, Mrs. Diana Sari, His Excellency Ambassador Diar Nurbintoro, and Mr. Rili Robi Gusadi. The Honorable Head of Museum of the Asian African Conference, Mrs. Dahlia Kusumadewi. And of course, lastly, our distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to ASEAN African Friendship Day, International Students Gathering, Developing Creative Economy in Asia and Africa for Global Economic Recovery. This program is held by the Museum of Asian African Conference in cooperation with Universitas Pajajaran in commemorating the 67th anniversary of the Asian African Conference. And all the proceeding of this event already followed the protocol of COVID-19. To begin with, we would like to invite the Honorable Head of Department Culture and Tourism Bandung City, representing Mayor of Bandung City, Mrs. Dewi Kaniasari, to deliver remarks and welcome all participants. Mrs. Dewi Kaniasari, the floor is yours.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning. Distinguished representative of Director General of Information and Diplomacy, Foreign Affairs Ministry of Republic of Indonesia. Distinguished representative of Director General of Asia Pacific and Africa, Foreign Affairs Ministry of Republic of Indonesia. distinguished all the speakers, distinguished all participants from Asia Africa countries. Let's praise to God Almighty for His blessing. We all are able to gather here on the occasion of Asian African Friendship Day, International Student Gathering. Today I'm so excited to be present among special young people who participate in order to discuss and sharing ideas in order to promote Asia African countries to be recovered from COVID-19. Distinguished participants, for the past 2 years, COVID-19 has become global pandemic that has given great impact to economic sectors in almost every countries in the world. Today, we are watching on how the pandemic has taken life of humans as well as has made people lose their jobs. Job opportunities has become difficult to find, and consequently, people's income has been decreasing that eventually give impact to global economy. Distinguished invitees and participants, for the creative economy sector, the COVID-19 pandemic has by impact. On one side, some of creative industries such as entertainment and performance arts and culture has plunged into its worst point, whereas on the other side has created new opportunities. That is how I think creative economy works. And creative economy largely depend on ideas, creativities, and innovation as its main sources. As a human being who is gifted by God an intellectual mind that has made us a productive thinker even in the most difficult moment, brilliant ideas could just come out and become solution to save the situation. We occasionally don't realize how great humans' creativities work. Just for an example, by the end of last year, the city government of Bandung organized the 2021 Creative Market that facilitated all creative industries in one place. Initially, we only targeted 1.7 billion rupiah, but actually, the event could reach beyond target that was 3.8 billion rupiah. And if we add to the other events, such as we have an event called Modest Fashion Festival, as well as Bandung Weekend Market, the amount of money that circulated could reach 9 billion rupiah at that time. Ladies and gentlemen, all participants, creative economy in Bandung City could be considered unique since the actors are mostly come from young people. In the hand of millennials and Z generations, the city government of Bandung has great expectation on them. With their open-minded characters, out-of-the-box ideas, and familiar with information technology and digitalizations, I am very optimistic that creative economy could become our future in the era of post-pandemic. Distinguished participants, as a multi-ethnic country that rich with its art and culture as well as its local genius, we are still depend upon creative economy, especially modern and traditional craft and fashion. However, there's a lot of potentials can be explored, and this needs more inputs from the speakers and participants who are joining on this seminar today. For instance, on how to maximize the advertising in the era of analog switch off, where in Indonesia there is many local TV stations have emerged, which consequently many commercial products will be more segmented and personal through TV advertisement. Moreover, on how to taking benefit the phenomena of the emerging of the influencers, celebgrams, and YouTubers in Indonesia to promote and sell commercial products. There are still many more creative sectors that give opportunities such as graphic designs, architectures, games, virtual reality, and so forth. Furthermore, on how we can accelerate small and medium enterprises so they can compete amid this digitalization of big-scale products. Distinguished participants, creative economy can be considered as the niche for young people. The young people are destined to advance the creative industry that we've never imagined before. Lastly, on this special event, I'd like to appeal all young people and students in Asia and Africa to take this opportunity. If you could master the creative economy, so half of this globe been already in your hand. That was all my speech. Thank you very much for your attention. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Dewi Kaniasari, for your remark. And now, to officially open our program, we would like to invite the Honorable Director for Diplomatic Security, Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Republic of Indonesia, Mr. Agung Cahaya Sumirat, representing Director General for Information and Public Diplomacy, Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Republic of Indonesia, to deliver opening remark and opening this program officially. Okay. Mr. Agung Cahaya Sumirat, the floor is now yours.
Excellencies, Mayor of Bandung, represented by Head of Culture and Tourism of Bandung City, Ibu Dewi, Ambassadors of Asian and African countries, Director General of Asia, Pacific and Africa of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of the Republic of Indonesia, Indonesian Head of Missions Abroad, Ambassador Diar Nurbintoro, the Executive Secretary of NAM CCTZ, Honorable Secretary of Directorate General of Asia, Pacific and African Affairs of the Indonesian MOVA, and my colleague, Director of Public Diplomacy of the Indonesian MOVA, officials of the Indonesian MOVA, Rector of University of Pajajaran in Bandung, all distinguished speakers, Ibu Dahlia, the head of the museum, and distinguished participants. Good morning. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Salam sejahtera. Welcome to the Asian African Friendship Day with the theme the International Students Gathering, to be held at the Gedung Merdeka Bandung, Indonesia. This building is where 67 years ago our founding fathers, the leaders of Asia and Africa nations, gathered to prepare for the future historical pathways of Asia and Africa. Looking back of this history, Asian and African students have played a major role and contributed significantly in the development of relationship and partnerships between the two big continents. Through the Asian African Student Conference in 1956 and 2015. In 2015, the Asian African Students Conference had resulted a final communique which brought messages for the strengthening of young people's cooperation in Asia and Africa. On this occasion, the Museum of the Asian and African Conference would like to bring back the spirit of this youth cooperation through the International Students Gathering of today, which is held as part of the 67th commemoration of the Asian African Conference. Excellencies, distinguished participants, and ladies and gentlemen, the theme of today's International Students Gathering, which is developing creative economy in Asia and Africa for global economic recovery, is carrying on the big theme of the 67th commemoration of the Asian African Conference, Recover Together, Recover Stronger. The same spirit of economic recovery is also highlighted in the Indonesia's presidency of the G20 this year. This spirit of economic recovery is also brought into the context of the recovery of the Asian African nation after the COVID-19 pandemic. Nowadays, we can see that the creative economy is improving and expanding with the spread of the positive influence of social media in our societies, coupled with rapid changes in information technology, whereby we have a new buzzwords of metaverse, blockchain, Web 0.3, cryptocurrency, and so on and so forth. This recovery is not solely the result of government work, but more importantly, it requires support from the private sector and the entire segment of the community through the improvement of small and medium enterprises. Creative economy industry is also believed to provide greater opportunities for economic recovery in the new normal era and digital era. This is exactly, this opportunity is what we want to discuss today with competent resource persons and young creative economic practitioners. Today's gathering, which is a collaboration of Museum of the ASEAN African Conference, the Indonesian Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and Pajajaran University in Bandung, would also like to encourage young people in Asia and Africa to see opportunities in developing creative economic industry in their respective places. Excellencies, distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen, my highest appreciation goes to all parties who have supported today's International Student Gathering. I look forward to that this activity can inspire all of us in building joint efforts in recovering the economy after the COVID-19 pandemic. May this International Student Gathering bring a beneficial result and evoke our spirit to recover together, recover stronger. On that note, I'm honored to declare that the Asian African Friendship Day International Students Gathering with the theme of Developing Creative Economy in Asia and Africa for Global Economic Recovery is officially open. May we all have a fruitful discussion. I thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you, Mr. Agung Cahaya Sumirat, for your remarks. To officially open the ASEAN-African Friendship Day International Students Gathering theme, Developing Creative Economy in Asia and Africa for Global Economic Recovery. And now, for focusing our discussion today, I would like to welcome the Secretary of Directorate General for Asia Pacific and African Affairs, Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Republic of Indonesia, Mrs. Trisari Diah Paramita, representing Director General for Asia Pacific, Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Republic of Indonesia, to deliver the keynote speech. Mrs. Trisari Diah Paramita, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Honorable Mayor of Bandung, represented by Ms. Dewi Kamiasari, Head of Bandung Culture and Tourism Office, Honorable Dean of Faculty of Political and Social Science, Pajajaran University, Mr. Widya Setiabudi, Honorable Head of Missions across Asia and Africa, His Excellency Ambassador Diyar Nurbintoro, Executive Secretary for Non-Aligned Movement Center for South-South Technical Cooperation, Mr. Agung Cahaya Sumirat, the Director for Diplomatic Security at the Indonesian Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Ms. Dahlia Kusumadewi, the Head of Museum of Asian and African Conference in Bandung, Dr. Diana Sari, Director of Innovation and Corporation Pajajaran University, Mr. Rili Robi Gusadi, Founder of the Hallway Space Bandung. Distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen, students from Asia, Africa, and other regions. A very good morning, everyone. It is a pleasure and honor for me to be here with you all. I'm very pleased to note the initiative by the Museum of the Asian African Conference to trigger conversation on the possible collaboration among youth from Asia, Africa, and other regions in creative economy as an increasingly important and thriving sector. The theme of today's International Student Gathering at the Asian African Friendship Day, Developing Creative Economy in Asia and Africa for Global Economic Recovery, is certainly timely, particularly in our efforts to build back our economy better. The potential of the creative economy in Asia and Africa is immense. It accounts for a significant part of our people's livelihoods and is often seen as the nexus of various creative fields, including the arts and culture, science and technology, business and trade. The development of the creative economy is pivotal for Indonesia to shift from a resource-based economy to an innovation-based economy. As an illustration, in 2019, the creative economy contributed to up to $22 billion to Indonesian economy, dominated by three subsectors, namely fashion, craft, and culinary. Let me situate our potential in the creative economy in the context of the historic Asian and African Conference. Our present challenges, the immense cultural diversity of nations in the two continents, and its role as the social capital for creativity. Ladies and gentlemen, 67 years ago, when leaders and representatives from 29 post-colonial countries in Asia and Africa gathered in Bandung, it was a time when there were still a lot of other nations in both continents had not enjoyed independence and political freedom. The assembled countries in Bandung were determined to assert international solidarity and the abolition of colonialism. The Bandung Conference was a very creative episode in the Asian and African nations' past. Never before in history, newly independent countries in the two continents came together to declare a bold support to international independence movement. It was the first post-colonial countries conference that inspired subsequent important international fora. At that time, the concerted movement involving newly independent countries was something completely new, something that had not took place before. Distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen, today we live in a completely different world compared to one that we had 67 years ago when the Asia and Africa Conference was organized. Nevertheless, creativity remains the key to overcome our challenges. Currently, Asian and African nations are facing an entirely different set of challenges. The most recent challenge, and it is still ongoing, is to cope with global pandemic and its severe economic impact. Echoing my colleagues just now, I feel that recover together, recover stronger should also be the new focus of cooperation between Asia and Africa. This is not merely a wishful thinking or just a pie in the sky. As we are all knew very well, prior to the global pandemic, both Asia and Africa were the two fastest growing world's economic regions. Therefore, it is not an unrealistic expectation that the two continents could quickly bounce back with the prospect of the diminishing pandemic. In 1955, Asian and African nations were brought together by the spirit of decolonization as a solidarity movement. Today, we should be united by a shared goal of economic revival. This new spirit is cooperative rather than confrontational. It should not be limited to South-South cooperation, but also include North-South cooperation. With the exception of a very few countries, developing nations in Asia and Africa in general are not going to soon rival US and European as economic powerhouses. On the other hand, I argue that Asian and African developing nations could become the upcoming superpowers of creativity. I cannot speak freely about other nations, but I wouldn't certainly miss this opportunity to advertise Indonesia. Indonesia is probably the most diverse nation in the world. There are hundreds of tribal communities and languages spread all over thousands of islands. From the western part of Indonesia, that is characterized by Malay ethnic group, to the eastern part of Indonesia, that is characterized by Melanesian ethnic group. Diversity is closely linked to creativity. There was substantial evidence from various studies that the more diverse a nation, the more cultural assets it has. These cultural assets, in turn, become the source of creativity, which serves as the wellspring of creative economy. The cultural diversity is not monopolized by Indonesia. It is a common feature along the Asian and African nations. That is why I am optimistic that Asia and African nations have the potential to become vital global forces in creative economy. Distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen, it is evident that innovation, which is the key ingredients for creative economy to thrive, are strongly associated with youth. Both Asia and Africa continents are marked by youthful population, unlike some other parts of the world that suffered from aging population. As young people have an abundant fresh of ideas to invent new business, a sustained development of creative economy needs a large share of youth in its population structure. However, to promote the active role of youth in the development of creative industries is not without challenges. What needs to be done to support and facilitate creative economy players to flourish and to contribute to the economy? First is capacity building. Human capital is the main resource of creativity and innovation. In this day and age, we need digital information platforms to cultivate and empower creative economy entrepreneurship of the young generation in an effective manner. The pandemic has been a blessing in disguise in this particular case. It has served as a catalyst for online learning in various fields, including in the field of creative economy. Secondly, digital coaching and mentoring for young entrepreneurs. In Indonesia, and I believe in a lot of other countries, we have entrepreneurship camps and training centers. These institutions are very critical for imparting best practices and lessons learned to nurture new creative economy players in the dynamic business environment. And third is financing. Startup incubators and digital crowdfunding could serve as an option to raise funds for investors for financing creative business undertaken by youth. Fourth is the use of national and international digital marketplace. A convergence of digital economy and the creative economy will reinforce ecosystem for innovation and creativity. It will not only facilitate the movement of creative goods and services, but also provide an enabling environment for inclusive participation of all creative actors. In Indonesia, there are well-established national digital marketplaces such as Tokopedia and Bukalapak. Shopee is a regional-based digital marketplace that covers key Southeast Asian countries and a couple of Latin American countries. For global scale digital marketplaces, there are eBay, Etsy, and etc. So distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen, creative economy is one of the economic sectors that proven to be adaptive and have a fairly strong resilience against the adverse effect of the pandemic. In the final analysis, we need to boost the role of youth as a solution to advance the creative economy as the main vehicle to create equitable, sustainable, and inclusive economy. Thus, it will place our youth at the heart of the post-pandemic economic recovery plan. Before concluding my remarks, let me thank and commend Ms. Dahlia Kusumadewi, the head of Museum of the Asian African Conference, and her team for organizing today's event. I wish you all successful and fruitful gathering. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Trisari Diah Paramita, for your keynote speech. And now we are coming to the main agenda of today's event, which is the seminar. There will be 3 outstanding speakers, and all the proceedings will be led by our moderators, Mrs. Mudiati Rahmatunisa, MA PhD. She is a lecturer from Political Science Program, Faculty of Social and Political Science, Universitas Pajajaran. So, Mr. Mudiati Rahmatunisa, MA PhD, the floor is yours now.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning. Now I will invite 3 distinguished speakers, actually 2 join us in the room. I would like to call Ibu Diana Sari and then Pak Diar Nurbiantoro. Please come to the stage. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim.
Once again, good morning and welcome to all distinguished guests and attendees to Asian African Friendship Day, International Students Gathering, with the theme this year, Developing Creative Economy in Asia and Africa for Global Economic Recovery, in commemorations of the 67th anniversary of the Asia-Africa Conference. And my name is Mudiati Rahmatunisa, and I will be serving as your moderator today. So today we are very lucky to have three inspiring speakers. First of all, we have Director for Innovation and Corporations, Universitas Pajajaran, Ibu Diana Sari, PhD. And then the second one, Executive Secretary for Non-Aligned Movement Center for South-South Technical Cooperations, Bapak Diar Nur Bintoro. And also one more inspiring speaker, of course, who is joining us online actually. The founder of the Hallway Space, Pasar Kosambi Bandung, Bapak Rili Robi Gusadi. Maybe can pin the Pak Rili already? Yeah. He's joining us online. So, but before we give the opportunity to all speakers, I need to inform all the attendees that each speaker will be given approximately 15 minutes. And then after all the speakers finish their presentation, before Q&A session, there will be a quiz. Yeah. So we ask all audience here in the room as well as online to pay close attention to all the presentation so that you can answer the quiz questions. And again, quiz will be conducted for both audience here in the room as well as who join with us online. After the quiz, then we will continue with the question and answer session for 15 minutes. And then once again, after finishing the question and answer session, there will be another quiz. So please pay attention for that. So first, we are going to hear a presentation from Ibu Diana Sari. This one. And before we invite Mrs. Diana to deliver her presentation, allow me to read her short CV first. Her education background, finished Bachelor of Economics, 1995 from Universitas Pajajaran in Marketing, and then obtained Master of Management, 1998 from Monash University, Australia in General Management, and then a PhD in International Business from Monash University, Australia, June 2011. And her research interests are sustainable marketing, consumer behavior, international marketing, and internationalizations of small, medium enterprises. Her skills are experience in supervising small, medium enterprises, skill in customer service, marketing, public speaking, strong business development. Very interesting. And her current position is as the Director of Innovation and Corporations, Universitas Pajajaran since February 2020. So now I will invite Mrs. Diana to deliver her presentations with the theme Creative Economy as Booster for Economic Recovery Post-COVID-19 Pandemic. So please welcome Ibu Diana Sari.
Okay, please allow me to open my mask. And I think it's better to, thank you, Pa. Thank you very much. Okay, thank you very much. Good morning, everyone. Oh, I can't hear you. Good morning, everyone. That's good. Okay. As we want to talk about creative economy in terms of post-pandemic, so we need that spirit. We need that motivation that you as a young people responsible to make this recovery happen. Okay, the organizing committee gave me this title. Then I would like to have the outline about my talk today. It's first I will talk about the impacts of COVID-19 to the economy, and second I'll touch a bit about changes in consumer behavior. Third, about creative economy in Indonesia, and I'll also give you a bit of a case of UNPAD strategies. What did we do to help small, medium enterprises in terms of pandemic? Okay, next. Oh, it has, yeah, next. Next. Yeah, as we know, this pandemic not the same from the Asian financial crisis in 1998, also global financial crisis in 2008, because Asian financial crisis in 1998, it only hits the big corporation, while global financial crisis also impacted large corporation. But now, COVID-19 crisis, it's impacted not only large corporations, but also the small ones. Next. So the identification of the sector or product that affected, we can see the most affected one is the mining, oil and gas, construction, transportation, microloans, trade, restaurant and hotels. Of course, during the pandemic, especially in early 2020, we couldn't go anywhere. And also because this is the new thing for us, and all of us just like reserve and do not be able to go outside. The sector that moderately exposed are consumer goods, financial services, auto, credit card, electronic, auto and steel, industry processing. And the least exposed is the technology, mortgage, social and community service, healthcare and education, agriculture and fishing, telecom and utilities. We'll see that actually maybe you as youngsters also feel that in the term of COVID-19, we are a boost or kind of like what's it in English? Didorong, terpaksa. We are, what is terpaksa? Okay, you know what I mean. Okay, so yeah, we are forced to join the digital thing. I remember in 2019, we are exposed to digital 4.0, for example, but then it's only several people do that digital thing. But in 2020, because of COVID-19, we are forced to do that because otherwise we cannot do our everyday activities. For example, us as a lecturer or you as a students, if we are not forced that time to go online, maybe we cannot do the ordinary curriculum. And this one also strengthened by the survey done in UNPAD itself between April and May 2020, that it shows 47 of small medium enterprises stopped to operate, and the biggest is 85% of the SMEs. They have a decrease in their revenue, and 81% SMEs have a problem with their cash flow. And also this one it's proven by another research done by ABDSI, it shows that 48.3% feels that they have a lack of raw material. 82.6% needs a restructure in their credits, and also 26.6% cannot do their payment for the credit that they've made. So because of the situation change, then the consumer behavior to react to that situation also changed. We could see here the e-grocery. It's people change their behavior. Normally they go to supermarket or mini market to buy their grocery, but during the pandemic they have to go online. So virtual healthcare, also maybe brand like Allodoc or Halodoc, it's familiar to you to buy your medicine. Also home nesting, entertainment, leisure air travel. It's of course there's no people go for air travel that time, and also remote education also booming because of COVID-19. Then we could see here as well, the research done by AC Nielsen also shows that because of this pandemic, people tend to have activities at home, and also like before, they plan to have all the commercial thing as in online. And also it's a booming as well. They start to eat health product. Yeah. Then because of those things, we could see, oh, it's not moving. Next. Yeah, next. Sorry, I didn't see. Next. Yeah. So as we heard before from the speech, we are agree that creative economy is one of the solutions post-pandemic COVID-19. Now I would like to ask you, what is creative economy? Anyone? Okay, so this one is lots of definition about creative economy, but I take from UNSTAD. It is, creative economy is an evolving concept which builds on the interplay between human creativity and ideas and intellectual property, knowledge and technology. Yeah, so what is the importance of creative economy then? Next. If well nurtured, the creative economy can be a source of structural economic transformation, socio-economic progress, job creation, and innovation while contributing to social inclusion and sustainable human development. Then I'll show you how the Indonesian creative economy itself. We are proud to tell you that Indonesia's creative economy industry has been ranked the third largest in the world in terms of its contribution to the national gross domestic product. So we have to be happy to tell you about that one. So that's why, because Indonesia ranked third, I think it's good to tell you how Indonesia become the third ranked largest contribution for its GDP. The second is United States. Currently, United States currently ranked the first with its Hollywood film industry, followed by, guess? You see already. Okay. We can see that South Korea with its K-pop industry ranked the second. Well, for Indonesia, fashion is the highest contribution for our creative economy. The second is our handicraft, and the third is our culinary industry. Well, actually, if we compare our culinary industry also hasn't optimized yet. So now I'll tell you about the example of successful Indonesian creative economy. We see the fashion, yeah, especially the clothing. Fashion is the field that is included in economic creativity because of ideas and innovations that continue to grow. The second is the handicraft. Everything that has elements of handicraft and art can never be separated from the name of creativity, because you will not find a unique handicraft if the creativity of the creator is stuck in place. 5 minutes, thank you. Okay, the third is culinary. Well, actually, as I mentioned before, we haven't optimized the effort yet. While actually, if you remember, our rendang also named the best and the most delicious food in the world. So now the Ministry of Creative Economy and Tourism also encourage the small, medium enterprises who make the culinary industry to be able to export the culinary the products. The third is the technology, and the fifth is digital marketing. As we know, and I think now it's not only for the youngsters like the TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. Now we use TikTok as marketing tools as well, and lots of product has been sold by the media of TikTok. And I'll show you a bit about what we did in UNPAD to strengthen the small medium enterprises. We have a grant for the students for encourage them to have their own startup. Also, we embedded the strategy for entrepreneurship in free campus and free learning, Kampus Merdeka Merdeka Belajar. And also we have the KKN thematic for the entrepreneurship. And also for the external, we not only encourage the internal UNPAD to be able to be an entrepreneurs, but also we look after small medium enterprises around UNPAD, Bandung and Sumedang, by UNPADs and by locals. Lastly, the concluding remark. Next, yes, okay. Creative industry is very, very important, and in creative industry there is an innovation. So I would say for my concluding remark, innovate or die. So innovation and creativity is the key to survive. Micro, small, medium enterprises needs community to strengthen and motivate each other in time of crisis. A digital mindset is needed for micro, small, medium enterprises and must be considered as an opportunity. Also, simplicity is the key to success in a complex digital marketplace, as we really encourage small, medium enterprises to go digital. And also the government needs to improve infrastructure and programs that makes it easier for micro, small, medium enterprises to stay innovative. Okay, that's all from me. Hopefully there will be a discussion after this. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning. No, sorry, that's wrong. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ibu Diana, for interesting topic, actually highlighting the resiliency of small medium enterprises during COVID-19 pandemic, as well as the strategic positions of creative economy dealing with the dynamic changes brought by COVID-19 pandemic, as well as the consequences of the revolution industries 4.0. So very interesting. Now I will move on to the second speakers. I bet this is also very interesting, which will be delivered by Pak Diar Nurbintoro, and the presentation entitled Opportunities for Technical Cooperation for Capacity Building in the Creative Economy. Before I invite Pak Diar nih, I will read the short CV first, Pak. Very eager to present presentation. Pak Diar worked in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in various positions actually. First placement at the Embassy of the Republic of Indonesia in Vienna, political officer Pak. And then at the Embassy of the Republic of Indonesia in Dar es Salaam as head of political affairs as well. And now as Executive Secretary of NEM CSSTC and also as Acting Director of Non-Aligned Movement Center of South-South Technical Cooperation. So now I will invite Pak Diar to deliver his presentation. Please welcome Pak Diar Nurbintoro.
Thank you very much. Honorable Director for Diplomatic Security, Honorable Secretary for Director General of Asia Africa and Asia Pacific and Africa, Honorable Head of Museum of Asia Africa, dear speakers and fellows in the room and virtual. Actually, thank you very much, Ms. Moderator, and thank you for inviting me to speak at this event at the Museum of Asia Africa. It gives me a pleasure to present today on opportunities for technical cooperation for capacity building in the creative economy. I think we start with the slide, please. The slide. Slide-nya ada apa?
From the title first.
Yes, this is the title. Okay.
Okay.
In relation to the topic of my presentation today, we will discuss about what exactly is a technical cooperation, Asia-Africa Technical Cooperation, NAM CSSTC experience in implementing technical cooperation with Asia and Africa countries. What is the NAM CSSTC plan for capacity building in the creative economy for Asia and Africa countries? Next. What exactly is technical cooperation? There are numerous definitions. The NAM CSSTC regards technical cooperation as an important component of foreign policy. It means that it's one of the activities that promotes interstate relations. Second, technical cooperation can be used to supplement diplomatic efforts at the bilateral, regional, and international levels. Within technical cooperation, there is an activity of information exchange, and this information should be useful for sharing in international forums as a negotiation modality. With this in mind, we can say that technical cooperation serves as a platform for networking and for exchange in international fora. Technical cooperation is frequently with official development assistance, or ODA, a scheme with which a developed country provides assistance to developing countries. Because technical cooperation emphasizes cooperation between developing countries with a smaller gap who share the same interest, sense of faith, and possibility, similar perceptions. In this regard, the majority of technical cooperation programs are aimed at developing countries in Asia and Africa, the Pacific Ocean, South America, Caribbean. If we look at the map, we can see that these regions are in the southern hemisphere, which we refer to as the global south. Next slide. Given that Asia and Africa are both part of global south, we believe that technical cooperation is closely related to the interests of Asia and Africa countries. And there is a link with the Asia-Africa Student Conference 2015 final communique. There are three key points that I took and found frequently in the communique document. First, collaboration to have fruitful discussion about Asia and African students, common problems and interests. Second, scholarship program and training for local sociopreneurs. Third, ASEAN and African youth work together to develop projects and ideas that will empower the community through media literacy. Three of these activities have been carried out within the context of technical cooperation, or at the very least, since the establishment of NAM-CSSTC in 1995. The majority of NAM-CSSTC program constantly reaffirms and emphasizes collaboration. We promote an adult learning process in which participants are encouraged to be more active than speakers, and we encourage strong interaction not only between participant and speaker, but also among participants from various geographical and cultural backgrounds. We put them in groups to work on issues or develop recommendations that can be implemented by the end of the activities. Second, there is training. Through NAM-CSSTC offer a wide range of activities. I believe that training is the most prevalent. It is an effective tool for passing on knowledge from someone who is knowledgeable about the particular topic to someone who is unfamiliar with that topic. It is also an effective tool for developing an individual capacity by providing them with new experiences, knowledge, and skill that can be applied in the workplace and may lead to his or her success. Third, there is collaboration between ASEAN and African youth. In the following slides, I will explain how it is related to technical cooperation. Next. NAM-CSSTC employs a variety of strategies to increase youth participation in technical cooperation programs. The first method is to align their untapped potential with existing global governance structures. To do so, we must first dispel outdated notions about youth participation in the global governance structure. Young people does not only exist for consultation, but we must also include them in decision-making process. Engagement with young people is more than a gimmick, and not just because they have the world's largest population. Young people must be involved because they are important and have something that contribute to global development and making the world a better place. Then we move on to determining what potential they have. At the very least, we can consider how our action today will affect them in the future because they will inherit this planet from us. As a result, it is critical to involve them as early as possible for shared responsibilities. To do so, they must be invited to raise issues, advocate for them, and lead the implementation of solutions. It is critical to always consider their involvement in any event that we hold so that they can put on the table for our consideration what is important for them and their future. Finally, and I believe this is the most important point, university is the best place to reach out to young people because the majority of it is made up of students. Next slide, please. NAMCSSTC has numerous examples of how we have included youth in the majority of our event. In fact, all of them. Because the spirit of NAMCSSTC programs is technical cooperation, participation are always people with less than 5 years of work experience. We provide them with new experiences, knowledge and skills that will help them advance in their personal and professional life. We also offer them the opportunity to provide new and fresh perspective on the event, which can be discussed and adopted by other participants. Solidarity is also one of the guiding principles of NAMCSSTC programs. Every program we devise aims to increase solidarity among members countries. Having 120 members countries can be difficult at times, especially when it comes to connecting with them all. Young people, on the other hand, are adopt a new form of networking, particularly those involved in internet media. Third, we discover that youth-led events draw a large number of participants. Almost all of the events that we attended and that were organized by young people had more than 50 people on the list. This is very impressive to us. Next. NAMCSSTC has two notable events that were youth-driven programs. The first is the Aztec Nova Epic Joint Conference 2021. And the second is the 2018 Innovation Summit and International Conference. Technology transfer and internationalization of technology-based businesses. Remember how I mentioned that significance of involving a university as a partner. This was evident at the Aztec Nova Epic event. In the event, we collaborated with Universitas Gajah Mada, and thanks to the strong support of its students and partners, UGM was able to invite 197 participants to the programs. They were not only present, but they were also offering invitation, ideas, and recommendations related to energy and engineering. Their suggestions were carefully considered by the NAMCSSTC and submitted to the NAM Coordinating Bureau, an important forum for NAM representatives from all members countries. The second event is a technology-based business conference. This conference was held in 2018, and the startup business was a big hit at the time. As a result, we and our partner invited youth as speakers because they are important key figures in startup incubation. They have wonderful experiences to share and hope that other young people in other countries will be inspired to do the same. These two events taught us an important lesson about the importance of involving youth in diplomacy and international development. Next.
5 more minutes, Pak.
Thank you. So how do we connect technical cooperation with the creative economy, with this hot topic right now? It is extremely simple. NAMCSSTC never limits the scope of its activities, and a technical cooperation program based on the theme of creative economy is possible. Just this year, NAMCSSC met the Minister of Foreign Affairs of the Republic of Indonesia to discuss the possibility of running a similar program aimed at OCPS, the Organization of African, Caribbean, and Pacific States. We support this idea because of three factors. NAMCSSTC programming should be expanded to share Indonesia experiences in stimulating and supporting the creative economy. Third, to encourage ASEAN, African, Caribbean, and Pacific nations to work together on creative economies. So what does NAMCSSTC has to offer? The program has a lot of effort, including speaker from the creative economy will take part, Ministry of Tourism and Creative Economy, as well as any built-in groups, carry out virtually. There will be 3 batches, one of African participation, one Caribbean participant, and Pacific participant, and the third culinary, fashion, craft art example of a sustainability discussion topic. This is the next, the preparation. We go through 3 major steps. The first, defining the goals. How should this be done? We must remember, goal is the guidelines for all preparation decision. Make a simple or measurable goal. It must be relevant and related to the NAMCSSTC and non-members countries. Second, design an event. We must remember to pay attention to what the program participants need. Second, publicize the program, and what media will be employed. And the third, make an agenda column. Identify speakers and participants. This is the important thing. This is where the art comes into play. We attempt to connect to people who do not know each other but share in common interests. The speaker must meet the needs of the participant, and the participant must be motivated to attend event as a result of speaker. As a result, it is critical to investigate all available information sources, use an existing network or referral, and consider previous experience. A platform such as today's event can also be used by NAMCSSTC to invite potential new participants to our event. Next, of course, not all of the event in place go as planned. We identified the following constraints: time commitment of speakers and hands-on experience with the related topic. There will be no practice session. Through virtual event allow us to organize event, but for hundreds of member countries at once with limited resources. Due to a lack of material ingredients, there is a risk that the topic will be unable to be replicated in beneficial countries. Therefore, it can be difficult also to ensure that things always go hand in hand with environment sustainability. We recognize the signification of environmental sustainability. However, most of the time we face challenges such as when we introduce a new material, not all of these components are sustainable. In one of our food packaging events, for example, an expert stated that it is impossible to completely eliminate plastic from food packaging because most people still value its low cost and ability to increase shelf life when compared to paper. Next slide. So for the conclusion, based on my experience, of course, I can conclude that NAMCSSTC is committed to increase the collective self-reliance and solidarity of non-members countries by providing technical cooperation programs for Asian and African countries. Commission is required to broaden the reach of technical cooperation programs. To ensure youth participation, higher education institutions or universities must be involved. That concludes my presentation for today. Thank you very much for your attention. Over you, Madam.
Please applause. Thank you very much, Pak Diar. Very interesting presentation. Highlighted some important points, particularly on technical cooperation as an essential component of foreign policy and how the practices so far in the context of the Asian African Student Conference have held the fruitful discussion to solve common problems and interests of Asian and African students. And also points out the importance of cooperation with higher education, which has been considered as the most effective channel for increasing youth participation in technical cooperation. So very interesting. So now we have small chat with Bu Diana to follow up your interesting presentation, Pak Diar. Yes, continue. Okay, now we are having the last but certainly not the least presenter. I will invite ini Pak atau Kang ya, karena because he is still young, ya, Kang Rili.
Yeah.
Okay, Kang Rili. Okay, itu dia.
Can you hear my voice?
Okay, hang on a sec, Kang Rili. I will introduce you to the audience first by reading your CV. Kang Rili graduated from Department of Communication Management, Faculty of Communications, Bandung Islamic University in 2013. And Kang Rili is the founder of the Hallway Space and owner of House of Local Footwear. So very interesting profile of young entrepreneur for sure. And so now I will invite Kang Rili to deliver his presentation. Please welcome Kang Rili Robi Gusadi.
Okay.
15 minutes, Kang Rili.
Okay, before we start, can play the video. Okay, thank you. Can play the presentation. Hey, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Robi. I'm the founder of the Hallway Space. And today I want to share you about how we built the Hallway Space. Then I wish to say thank you to MKA for inviting me and my respects to all speakers and participants. I'm a bit nervous, but this is my first time in English, but I can try. Okay. Next. Next slide. Okay, welcome to our journey. This is start from 2018. This place hasn't been used for about 15 years. However, we prospected this place as a good potential to be developed from an abandoned traditional market area to become a place for creative movement. Okay, next. What do you think about this picture? This is a really area. When I saw this area, the first time I saw this area, and how did we turn this place into a cool place? In 2018, we met the market head, Mr. Septianto Reja. We had a same vision to create a new breakthrough for traditional market. Finally, we start this from 2019. Okay, next. What about the concept? The concept is create a creative platform to support youth activities that have economic and social impact with three characters. First is collaboration, second youth culture, and next is must be fun place. Next. We have target. First is youth, music enthusiasts, and arts enthusiasts, fashion enthusiasts, food lovers, and social media heavy users. We have campaign in Bahasa is nongkrong di pasar. In English, it means hang out at the market. Okay, next. This is area. Now we can see the difference from the first pictures, and this time the area was different. Okay, next. We have 100 tenants. Every 110 tenants, we have fashion, food and beverage, barbershop, beauty salon, photo box, community radio, and small office. And 100% hobbies and lifestyle are 10%, F&B are 35%, and fashion 55%. We have 40,000 visitors per month. Tenant will be curated first. They have to send a business profile and estimate the store design. That's why it makes the hallway even more interesting, because the store has unique product and store have unique store design. Okay, next. We have more activities. First is music, workshop, exhibitions, bazaars, art installation, and community gathering. Okay. We also have thematic events like Unplugged and event thematics, music, and like event tertentu gitu. Okay, next, sorry. And government support from Ministry of Cooperation and Small Business, PTN, and also Mayor of Bandung, Kang Yana, we have Putri Tanjung as President's Special Staff, and Bank Indonesia also. Okay, next. This is only our presentation. For reach us as Instagram or TikTok at the Huawei Space. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Kang Rili. Very inspiring presentations on youth activities, through creating a creative platform in order to have economic and social impact. It involves various activities from music, workshop, exhibition, bazaar, art installation, as well as community gathering. So very interesting and inspiring for sure for us. Thank you again, Kang Rili.
Yeah.
So just stay there because we will enter question and answer. But before that, as I mentioned before, we are going to have quiz first. So the first one, I will give the first opportunity to attendees online first. So be ready. We have 90 participants here. Okay. The questions of the quiz for online attendees. There are 3 keywords from the concept of hallway space. What are they? Yeah, maybe the committee can spot who has raised hand. Okay. While we are waiting for the answer from the online attendees, now for the audience here in the room, the question is, when and where was the Asian African Student Conference held, which resulted in a final communique to improve sociopreneurs among youth people? So, once again, the question, when and where was the Asian African Student Conference held, which resulted in a final communique to improve sociopreneurs among young people? One, perhaps committee can help.
The first session in the Gadun, Merdeka, 1955, 18 April.
1955. I'm sorry, that's not the correct answer. So the next one. I don't know which one. I think the gentleman with the, yes, that one. The first one.
In 2015, in this place.
Yes, that's right. Yeah. That's the correct answer. Yeah. So the committee will contact you. Okay. Okay. How about the audience from the online? Already done? I guess so. Okay. Okay, done with the first session of the quiz. Now we are entering the question and answer session. I will invite audience in the room first to ask questions to all the speakers. Please be concise, mention your name, and then to whom the questions is addressed. Anyone here will ask question? Okay. Sure.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you very much for the opportunity. I am Aurora from UPN Fiji. Well, this is really a comprehensive material that has been given to us. I would like to give my questions for each of the speakers. First, for Ibu Dian, it was truly like inspirative materials that you've given to us, and then it really widening our eyes that eventually that even though we has experienced the pandemic, but with a certain promise, we can actually embrace that very moment. You said that previously, actually, the people is enforced to change the behavior. Like for example, you said that the digital 4.0 is forced to make everyone become online. But if we take a look more clear, if we take a look closer, it is actually questionable whether the force itself is come with social justice. The gap is widened between the poor and the rich, the privileged and underprivileged people. And how exactly do you see that the growth of Indonesian fashions, you give the example on one of the robust creative economy that has been developed, is exactly could become the role model. How exactly the developing countries could marketize the product in an international scope. That is the question for you, Ibu Dian, and for Pak Dian Nurbiantoro. It is really also widening our eyes, yeah, about what the very marvelous work that you've been doing. You said that previously NAMC as STS has providing Asian African student a conference to discuss common problems and interests, and then also training them to be able to cope with the local sociopreneurs and collaborate projects and so on. But my very questions is, don't you think that it is important also to invite commercial diplomat to tell us about how exactly the international policy in trade and commercial has been doing, how exactly the South-South cooperations has been continued today in the regimes of free trade agreement, how we can cope up and then excel with the other countries that maybe, yeah, especially maybe Europe and America, yeah, who has been very concerned with the regimes of free trade era. So how do you think that the South-South cooperations itself could embrace us as a brothers and sisters to develop more in the commercial terms and trade? And the third, I have a very complete questions in here. For Bapak Ruli Robi, it is very, we would like to appreciate you for the thing that you has been shared, because you're the youngster that work, not only talk, but also make it happen to work directly in a more pragmatical way. How do you think the urge of the government support, is it play a pivotal role to your success? Do you think is it possible that mediocre or maybe least privileged entrepreneurs to be successful by own way without help, without the support of the government in the regimes of this developing country? Thank you. I think that's all.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Aurora. Yeah? I think Aurora, right? Okay, thank you. So 3 different questions for 3 speakers. I will allow Bu Diana first to respond to the question, and then next one Pak Diar, and then Kang Rili.
Yeah. Check. Yeah, thank you very much, Aurora, for your question. You're saying that maybe like the impact of the fashion, how the social justice, is that correct? Yeah. So for me, it's the fashion itself, of course, as as I mentioned before, it's the highest, we have the highest contribution of the fashion to our GDP. That's why we rank third in the world in terms of creative industry. Yeah, and with regard to the social justice or the gap between the rich and the poor, I know that according to research of the consumer behavior of the millennial and generation Z, you guys are really easy to be dipengaruhi itu apa? To be influenced by your peer, by your environment, then that's why for products that advertise for the youngsters, millennials, and zillennials, the product endorser or the celebrity endorser is very powerful to influence you. So in terms of how to make the gap, it's not so large because of the fashion industry. For example, we can ask the celebrity endorser or people from the government that become the speaker, that actually now we have we are not encourage people to consume or to use lots of product that actually they don't need, because the sustainability, for example, now the business for the future actually, it's talk about the sustainability, then how you do the recycle, for example. And also I think people now it's fail you about not about something that expensive, but something that unique. To be unique, it's not always expensive. So that's the importance of the creative industry. So by doing so, even though the product is not expensive, but then it's still fashionable and still good, and the value of the product is still high. For example, if we want to export that product. So in short, actually, how the government can involve in not telling the young people to always buy the expensive thing, the new thing. Actually, simple is better, and also hopefully the youngster is influenced by the sustainable consumption. Yeah, I think lots of, then it is also from the research, it proves that actually the millennials, the young millennials and the zillennials more concerned about the sustainability products. So hopefully because of that, the fashion industry also look at what actually the customer wants. So even though the product is fashionable, but that not expensive. So hopefully this one is answer your question. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Aurora, for your question. This is an important question for NAM-CSSTC. Actually, CSSTC means the Center for Technical South Technical Cooperation, means that NAM-CSSTC have their task to improve, to increase the capacity building of all of the members countries of non-aligned movement. So by saying that, what have you been said by FTA, NAM-CSSC can prepare like a seminar of FGD to give this the result of the FTA or the FGD or seminar on the issue of FTA to the countries, our members country. So we cannot, let's say, decide something on how we prepare for the FTA itself. But FTA is mostly the responsibility by the members country, not for CSSTC. That's my answer. Thank you.
Okay, Mbak Aurora. The last question for Kang Rili. Basically, Aurora asked about the role of government, support, or any collaboration at all with government or other parties. Kang Rili?
Okay. We have to collaborate between young people, businesses, and government. For example, the highway rent a building owned by the city government of Bandung, milik PD Pasar. So government policies are very important for young business progress. Support from policies that easy to do business, for funding, and the activities in government area. I think.
Okay, so there is support from local government actually, Mbak Aurora, yeah. Thank you, Kang Rili. Now I will invite questions from audience in Zoom committee, perhaps. Anyone will ask, please raise hand and directly ask the questions. Any? I can't see. Okay, here we have one from, I don't know, I can't read the name. This is too far. Ayo, Pak.
Assalamualaikum.
Okay. Please mention your name, Pak, and to whom the questions is addressed.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum. Thank you, Ibu Mudiati. My name is Gama from Indonesian Embassy in Maputo. Thank you for the chance. I have 3 questions to Ibu Diana, Pak Dubes Diar, and also to Ibu Mudiati also, even though you didn't present your anything. First to Ibu Diana. Ibu Diana, I was your student in management. You teach me basic marketing management, and alhamdulillah now I'm posted in Mozambique. And my question is, somehow it's a hybrid between public diplomacy and marketing management. Currently, Indonesia, especially from President Jokowi, and now is also being handled by the Director of Public Diplomacy, Pak Yusron. It's about Indonesia spice up the world. Now it's quite a challenge for us to open 4,000 restaurants all over the world. Now, my question is, why I called it's a hybrid between public diplomacy and marketing management? Because the challenge, in my opinion, to open and to make an established restaurant in other countries, there should be a Indonesian diaspora. Wherever the Indonesian diaspora is have such amount of quantity, then the restaurant will survive and flourish. But in Africa, which less Indonesian diaspora compared to other countries, it's quite a challenge for us. I remember in my class, there is a quote of a step of mind share, heart share, and market share. I forgot about the theory. And there's also a decision buying process. Now, if a foreigner looking at Indonesian food, like when I was posted in Thailand, there were what, because it's not familiar, they will first reluctant to try it. Now, referring back to the theory that I learned in your class and in my class, so what was you propose for Ministry of Foreign Affairs or Indonesia, it related with the three shares that I told before and the decision making process. So this project Indonesian Spice Up the World will success. This is my first question to Ibu Diana, and then to Pak Diar. I agree with Aurora. This is an opening eyes presentation, Pak. Uh, uh, I highlighted the South-South cooperation, and I also highlighted one of the economic creative is fashion. In Mozambique, there is a fashion item that's almost the same like batik, which already become a UNESCO heritage and one of our pride, and we promote it all over the world. And in Mozambique, they have capulana. But the challenge is people in Mozambique, their human development index is less than Indonesia, and it's a challenge for them to develop this into like batik in Indonesia. Now, I don't know if there is any way. I don't know if whether a forum or support to enhance this, which also can beneficial for Indonesia to improve its image here in Mozambique. That is for Pak Diar. And the last to Ibu Mudiati, I noted you are a lecturer from political science in Pajajaran University. I don't know if this have ever been done in context of Asian African, also to give this attention to Bu Dahlia, if whether there is an Asian African Academic Network or Asian African University Network or Asian African Museum Network, which could boost, because I checked the participants, mostly Indonesians. I saw some Thailands, also from the names some Africans. But hopefully, if this could be happen or already established, which will increase if next year we have this kind of event again, the participants will be more varied and from other countries, especially from African countries. That will be all. Thank you very much, Bu Mudiati.
Thank you, Pak Gama. Very interesting questions to all, except for Kang Rili, perhaps, yeah. And surprisingly, I got a question as well. Okay, Bu Diana.
Yeah. Okay. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you very much. Oh, so sorry. And Gama, are you 2001 student or which batch are you? Which batch? Like, are you from management? You are from management, right?
95. I'm the colleague of Aditya Salya, Bu. My classmate is Aditya Salya.
Okay. Okay, so that time, back then, I was like a young lecturer in 2000. Yeah, okay. Oh,
Yes.
okay. So sorry.
You were just returned from Australia at that time. That's okay, Bu.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, so sorry, but of course, as a lecturer, I'm very happy to see you and meet you here. And especially now you are serving in Foreign Affairs, Ministry of Foreign Affairs. And actually, we are at Faculty of Economics and Business. We try to find our diaspora. So like last year, we have a series of seminar, and yeah, maybe you are missed, but then maybe I can have your number later on. Yeah, with regards to the Spice the World, this one is very interesting questions, and also thank you very much. You still remember the market share, mind share, heart share, mind share, and heart share. That's really interesting that you still remember that one. Maybe as you said, this is the hybrid between the marketing management and the political thing. Well, I would say actually, if you said that actually it's a bit difficult to open a restaurant in Mozambique. You first of all you have to know what actually what kind of food that will interest them, because if you remember the essential thing of marketing is start from the market. So it start from the market. You have to know what the customer wants, not what your company or your institution can make. So even though I said before, rendang is very famous, it's announced as the best food in the world. But then you have to ask your customers there, or the Mozambique people, or the Maputo people, whether they like those kind of food or not. So maybe you can find a similar delicacy or similar food with ours. Then you try to figure out actually they like food like this. Then after that, maybe you can search, of course, then what kind of food that actually they like. Then try to serve it. Because if we just force them to like our food or to like something that Indonesian people love to, it's not doing the marketing principles, because the marketing principles, it start from the market, then you do it in your company, not trying to sell what you can make, but sell what do they want. So hopefully this one is answer your question, because it's because that's the very basic. We're not talking about the market share, mind share, and heart share, because how could we have the market share before actually they want our product? We can talk this one further, of course. We really happy, and also I'm happy to have your case in my class. And as you know, the international, I'm teaching the international marketing as well. So we can have the case, real case from your country, I mean from Maputo or from Mozambique. Then at the end of the semester, especially we ask people who gave the case to come to the class as well. So as now is online learning, I think it's easier for you to come at the end of our semester. So I'm happy to collaborate with you in terms of that opening the Indonesian restaurant in Maputo. Thank you.
Oke, thank you Bu
Insyaallah,
Nina.
Ibu. Thank you very much. It's an honor for me.
Oke.
Thank you, Bu.
Silakan Pak.
So, Gama, how long you been in Maputo? 1 year, 2 years, 3 years? Gama. Hello.
Sorry Pak, di mute tadi.
Okay.
6 months Pak. I arrived November last year.
So actually, you are still too early to see the situation and condition in Mozambique and in several countries surrounding. NAMSI SSTC, if I can underline your question on promotion on batik and compared to Kapulana, means that you want to have batik more popular than Kapulana in your Mozambique countries. Is it that can I say?
No, but it's more like developing people, especially tailor. Sorry, let me share first why I asked this question. We have Indonesian diaspora here who's tried to open fashion business. He already have a culinary business here. She already has, and she saw the people in Mozambique because they are still less having less welfare than Indonesia's, and the capulana is almost the same like batik. Now are being produced, as we know, from China, and she felt it's a shame, and she felt pity with the people here in Mozambique. So she wants at least to try to develop people in Mozambique, so they will be able to develop fashion garment as Indonesia's batik, which already known all over the world, because she also sees the potential of Capulana, which all similar with batik. That's why I asked you about this NAMCS STC about the technical cooperation. I don't know whether there is technical cooperation capacity building for tailor. I'm sorry if I say or fashion business something like that. It's more like that, Pak.
Okay.
Sorry for the misunderstanding.
Okay, I understand now. I will answer your question, conclude with question by Luang Xia from Tanzania. Actually, the CSSCC have done courses in Tanzania on the small medium enterprises in Tanzania. Especially for the young generation and for the ladies in the village. We did courses to increase their income, not on preparing cassava, not only for cheap, but they can produce a different kind of material like flour and other food from cassava. By this, I can inform you also to Gama that we can prepare like courses in Mozambique and South African countries, such as courses on fabric or factory that the expert come from Indonesia. We can have a collaboration with the Ministry of Tourism and Economic Creative, which we already have done some collaboration with this ministry to increase knowledge and collaboration with for the members countries from the different region. This is that I can inform you, Gama. Thank you.
Thank you, Pak Dubes. Thank you. I will take note on that. Thank you, Pak.
Okay. The last one is for me, actually. I'm not sure I can answer the question or not, but I just try to answer the questions anyway. So in terms of your questions, is there any Asia-Africa University network? That's right, Pak Gama. As far as I know, UNPAD actually already has a cooperation with a number of universities, both in Asia as well as African countries. So I remember last time actually we just initiate cooperations with Nairobi University in terms of education as well as research, publications, and so on and so forth. So I'm not sure it's a university in Mozambique, but perhaps this could be a good start. Yeah, I will pass the message perhaps to international office of our university to maybe to start the cooperations with universities in Mozambique. I think that's my answer, Pak Gama. Hopefully, yeah, through you we can start the cooperations with universities in Mozambique. Hopefully I have answered your question, Pak Agama. Okay, now.
Thank you, Ibu.
Very welcome. Okay.
Can I comment?
Sure,
on
Pak.
your
Sure.
Yes, before I posted in Maputo, I tried to research who already has African studies. I only find a few, which is one is Airlangga University. I don't know whether UNPAD already have one. And about the university in Mozambique, in Maputo, the best one, the first rank is University of Eduardo Mondlane. And inshallah, if it's okay with Ibu Mudiati and in the national office of UNPAD, if I went to Bandung, inshallah I will try to visit you to talk informally first about this discussion of cooperation with university in Mozambique. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome. Sounds good, Pak. We are waiting for you then. Okay. I should give the opportunity one more, I think, to. Sorry. There is a message from the committee, actually, from Zoom room. There are attendees also want to ask questions. So perhaps I will allow one more to ask questions. I will invite Aaron Bila. Is there any Aaron Bila? From Zoom room. Okay. Aaron Bila.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay.
I'm here.
Okay.
I'm here. Wait.
Sure. Yeah, please be concise because of the time constraint. It's still muted.
Here.
Okay.
Good morning and good afternoon. First of all, I would like to thank for this opportunity to talk here. Actually, I've been in that museum in 2016. I'm living in Mozambique, and I'm a staff of Pagama. Yeah, Bisa Pripicara Bahasa Indonesia sedikit. And indeed, my question, Pagama already make them. As Mozambican, and I've been in Indonesia, and I lived in Indonesia for a year, I think it's quite interesting to have a business here, especially in culinary area. Since I have experimented some kind of food from Indonesia, and I know as I'm Mozambican originally, I think I have some ideas that we can start business in culinary, or gastronomy in general. And I will send my ideas to see how can Indonesia can cooperate with Mozambique in this issue, as well in the fashion scene, as Mr. Gama mentioned before. We have Capulana indeed, which is similar to batik, and normally people are wearing Capulanas for special ceremony. And if we could have a manufacturer of batik here, or if we would have some people to train some Mozambican fashion design in this area, would be very important. The other thing I will send by text message, I want to express my happiness for attending this meeting, and thank for everything. My question is for everyone, which are in the management department for this event. Thank you very much. Bye. Terima kasih.
Terima kasih, thank you. Perhaps this is probably a question for Pak Diar about cooperation, give some training, something like that with Mozambique in the future.
Thank you, Ms. Bila. Actually, NAM-CSSTC have a cooperation on dealing with courses not to single members country. We always done our program to region basis. So if, like say, if there's a request from some countries in one region, let's say in Africa, they want it to have capacity building on fisheries, then we inform this request to other countries in that region. Then we do it in simultaneously to the other regions with different time. So we not do it to a single members country only. Is it answer your question, Mr. Biladan? Thank you.
Hopefully, yeah, there is a chance actually to maybe through NAM SCTC, yeah, CSSTC, yeah, and then they will be contacted to the relevant countries perhaps. This need more time to discuss perhaps to follow up your request, yeah?
Yes.
Okay. Bu Diana want to give response or not? Okay. Okay, because of time constraint, I will give one more, yeah? One more question from the audience in the room. I know some already raised hand. Yeah, one more. Please be concise. Yeah, because of time constraint.
Hello. My name is Ibrahim Zunda. I'm from Tanzania. I'm happy to see my Bapak here. He said he was working in Tanzania. Probably you can have some perception on my question. Actually, we have been having this cooperation between our countries, I mean Asian countries and African countries for so long time. But I see we are sharing some common problems. For instance, climate change and other problems like poverty in some places. What do you think? Are we doing something in our cooperation to make sure that we are solving these problems as our cooperations is concerned? Yes, maybe you can have a perception on this. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So it's about facing common problem such as climate change, COVID-19, pandemic. So I think the core question is, do we have concern on that, right? Have we done something on that, right? Is that your question, right? Okay. Perhaps Pak Diar or Bu Diana.
Actually, my understanding to your question is about whether that NAM-CSSC involved in this worldwide problem like COVID-19 or any global issues, pandemic. If I may say to you, yes, I was posted in Tanzania in Dar es Salaam for 4 years, long time ago, and there's many cooperation between Indonesia and Tanzania, and Indonesia with all the African continent countries. Concerning the issue that have you been said to here in the room, everything can be done when those countries, let's say the members country of NAM, can sit together and discuss. And where is the NAM-CSSC there? The NAM-CSSC will include in the discussion where the members country ask us to be involved in that meeting, and they will ask NAMCSA to do something like courses or any else collaboration between or among the countries. That's from my perspective. Thank you.
I think just add a bit. Actually, of course, as an Asian African country, we can learn together. For example, in socio entrepreneurship, we have helped the poor people in Indonesia who formerly they have the subsidy from the government, and we have a program. We have a collaboration with Ministry of Social. Then Ministry of Social give them small capital. That I think that one is very small. It's only about 3 million rupiah. But then we have to turn them from a subsidy recipient to be an entrepreneur. But Alhamdulillah, that program is went well. So like we start that one was in 2019, and up to now we have about 1,000 people that we have changed their what you call it. We changed them. Like before, they only rely on the government to give them, but now they start to have their own business, like micro businesses, or even like maybe nano businesses. But at least they change their behavior to be able to more independent in terms of their economy. So actually, those kind of case we can learn together, and we are happy to share what kind of program that we did to that people. I think that's from me. Hopefully we can talk further about that one if your interest is how to help poor people to be more independent economically. Thank you.
Okay. Do we still have time? Hang on a sec. I have to ask committee. Do we still have time for 1 or 2 questions? Or one more? 1 more? 10 minutes or what? 1 more question. Okay. Okay. I will give to, I think, just arrive in the middle of the session.
Thank you very much.
Question and answer. Yeah.
Thank you very much for times. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. On behalf of the University OPN Jakarta, I came from Jakarta actually with my delegation is quite big. So I would like to ask in regard to the Indonesian's policy look to Africa. Because a lot my friend here from Africa. So we know that Indonesia, first president actually, founding fathers of Indonesia is very close with the African countries. So we really have to stronger cooperation. So this event is really good for Indonesia with economic creative because Indonesia is quite advanced in regard to the creative economy. So I would like to ask to Mr. Diar, Ambassador Diar, how the Indonesian preparation, so Indonesian step to approach African countries, that Africans now is growing economically and it's very big populations. So Indonesia have a footprint with the African countries, I think. So we have really to ensure that the economic creative is one approach, the best approach to Africa, I think. So once again, thank you very much. We are coming from Jakarta to Bandung, is the capital of Asia Africa. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Okay, directly to Padiar.
Thank you, Dr. Bambang. Actually, it's my my batch in our ministry. I can answer your question on the position of NAM-CSSC, not as an Indonesian, but as my experience then, if you want to talk about differentiation, we cannot do differentiations of African region, Latin American region, Pacific region, and we put on our what we put then as specialty. We cannot do that. As a NAM CSSTC, part of NAM, we always put all the members country at the same position, similar, wherever that country is, from where they are countries. We always get the request for them, something that they want to increase their capacity building. Then NAM CSST will coordinate with all the members country who have the experience with the others members country needed, not only from Indonesia, but yes, commonly the expert on various courses that we have done coming from Indonesia, but as like other issues, other field, like on coconut, we get also expert from Sri Lanka, from the Philippines, to educate members countries in our members country. So we never differentiate members country. We all put them the same position. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Pak Diar. And with the last response from Pak Diar, I have to finish the question and answer session. Thank you to all the audience in this room, as well as who join us online for their questions. Actually, there are many questions, but due to time constraints, so perhaps individually or personally, you can ask Pak Diar or Budiana or Kang Rili as well. Okay, now the second session of quiz. Okay, be ready. First, for our audience online, the question. Hang on a sec. Oh, there is a main question. Just direct question, yeah. Okay. For the online, audience, what are exciting activities you can find in hallway space? That's for, I don't know, a committee? Some already raise hand. So the question is, what are exciting activities you can find in hallway space? Okay, while we are waiting the answer from the audience online, now for the audience in this room, what NEM CSSTC stands for? NAM CSSTC stands for? Anyone? Anyone? Hurry up. Hurry up. Okay. One. This is for the, offline.
The answer is non-aligned Movement Center for South-South Technical Cooperation.
Yes, correct. Okay, from online there is Kadek Chandra. Correct answer, right? Correct answer? Okay, so the exciting activities is music, workshop, exhibition, bazaar, art installation, community gathering. Okay. Finished with the quiz, right? Okay. Now, before I wrap up today's gathering, I will announce invitation, yeah, for all the audience. Hang on. To write an essay, actually. Where's this? Nah. Okay, this is the announcement for invitation for writing the essay. Yeah, article writing competition, International Student Gathering 2022. The theme is adapted to the ICG theme. Yeah, the theme, developing creative economy in Asia and Africa for global economic recovery. And the article is actually an opinion, so just opinion, containing information about the general economic conditions of the participating countries of origin. So any countries, the participating countries, challenges faced in economic development, as well as ideas or opportunities for economic improvement or progress through the creative economy in that country. So that's your topic. Yeah. And the number of words, yeah, between 800 to 1200 words. Yeah. And then the font size, 12. Font type is Times New Roman, 2 double spaces, yeah, left align. And then article may be written in Bahasa Indonesia or English. Attach your personal data, including full name, ID number, yeah, either a student card or passport, university, email address, and telephone number. Send it as PDF. Yeah, the type of document is PDF to email isgmkaa@gmail.com. Yeah, the best 10 articles will be selected to be compiled in a book. This book will be submitted to NAM CSSTC to be included in the NAM CSSTC quarterly report, and to become an exclusive book collections in the Museum of Asian African Conference Library. So the deadline for submission is 15 June 2022. Winners will be announced on 30th June 2022 via the website, yeah, www.asiaafricamuseum.org, and the Museum of Asian African Conference official social media, yeah, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at Asia Africa Museum. And then the selected winners will receive an exclusive prize package, yeah, from the Museum of Asian African Conference. So hopefully, only for Indonesian students or foreign? For foreign, yeah, for foreign. I don't know. This is a good question, actually. I don't know. Is it can be is it for only for Indonesian student or for foreign? For all. So, good news for all students. Okay? Hopefully all of you can participate and win the prize. Okay, now we are entering the last stage of our gathering today. And I'm sure that we are all enlightened by all speakers' presentation. And the important point of today's theme is that we all agree on the importance of building creative economy as one of the important strategies that needs to be carried out in this economic recovery period after the whole world has experienced the COVID-19 pandemic that has devastated various aspects of our lives. And only through collaboration and creativity will these efforts facilitate benefits for the progress and well-being of society as a whole. So I'm Mudiati Rahmatunisa as the moderator, thanking and appreciating all the outstanding speakers, and I wish success for the future, Bapak Ibu and Kang Rili. And I end by saying Alhamdulillah, good morning, good afternoon already ya. Good afternoon, wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you so much for Mrs. Mudiati Rahmatunisa, MA PhD, as the moderator, and to all our inspirational speakers. It was a really valuable knowledge we got about the economic topic today from the web seminar. Thank you so much. But before we proceed to the next agenda, I would like to inform that Museum of the Asian African Conference has a community named Sahabat Museum KAA, or in English is the Friends of Museum of the Asian African Conference. This community has been established since 2011, and recently there are 12 of clubs joining this community. It involves young talented people whom being the closest partner of the museum in carrying out its programs. Hence, at today's opportunity, the museum would like to invite all students participants to join the Friends of Museum of the Asian African Conference as part of young talented people contributing to the implementation of the museum's program in preserving the great values of Asian African Conference. Herewith, I would like to invite Mr. Basir Hamidi from Afghanistan as the representative of ASEAN students, and Mr. Dambael Saidi from Guinea-Bissau as the representative of African students to receive membership cards of the Friends of Museum of the Asian African Conference. Please go to the stage. Now, I also invite Mrs. Dahlia Kusumadewi, Head of Museum of the Asian African Conference, and Ms. Dena Askia Arifin, Administrator of Friends of Museum of the Asian and African Conference, to present the membership card to the representative of ASEAN and African Conference. Welcome to SMKA. And now for the photo session, I would like to invite the moderator, the honorable speaker first, Mrs. Diana Sari, And His Excellency Ambassador Diar Nurbintoro, please come to the stage. And also Mrs. Mudiati, MAEH, please come to the stage. If you can, please open the mask so we can see your beautiful faces and handsome. Okay. For cameraman, please stand by. There was it. Please give an applause for this participant. Thank you, Mrs. Dahlia, Miss Dena, Mr. Bashir, Mr. Dambael, and Mr. Budiati, Mrs. Diana, and Mr. Diar. Thank you, everyone. Please have back to your seat. And for all audiences who joining virtually, we also kindly invite you to be part of Friends of Museum of the ASEAN African Conference through the link enclosed at the Zoom or YouTube chat room. And for those you guys who join in this room, who attend offline, in Gedung Merdeka, we provide the QR code behind your name tag to join Friends of Museum of the ASEAN African Conference. You can scan it and join the SMKAA. And now, Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, unfortunately, we are now approaching the end of this event. But thank you for joining the ASEAN African Friendship Day International Students Gathering theme Developing Creative Economy in Asia and Africa for Global Economic Recovery. We hope that our discussion today will inspire us, the young generation of Asia and Africa, to develop our nation. We are also waiting for your submission on the article writing contest. So I am Anissa Febrianti, the Master of Ceremony, representing the entire team in charge, thanking you all for your presence, and see you again on the next event. But before we close the event today, I would like to invite Mr. Wisnu Aziz Firdaus, Educator Museum of the ASEAN African Conference, to join the stage with me. Okay. Right here, I want you to follow his gesture and follow my words. When I say Salam Museum, please raise your right hand like him. And then when I say
Salam Museum, Museum di Hatiku.
When I say Museum di Hatiku, please put your right hand to your left chest like this, like him, like me. Okay. Let's try it first time, okay? Let's try. Salam Museum.
Salam Museum.
Museum di Hatiku. Yeah. Once more. Salam Museum. Museum di Hatiku. Okay. Thank you so much and for attending this, and see you in our next event. Good afternoon.